Danielle Grandinetti is an inspirational romance author fueled by tea and books and the occasional nature walk. An award-winning author and FHLCW Reader's Choice finalist, her stories span from the Great Depression to present day. Originally from the Chicagoland area, she now lives along Lake Michigan's Wisconsin shoreline with her husband and their two young sons. Her book, Confessions to a Stranger, is a Stella Award finalist and is about to release an audiobook. Danielle, good morning. How are you?
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
We're so glad you're joining us. I'd love for you to talk to us a little bit about what you write and how you got into writing.
So first, what I write inspirational historical romance. I love the word inspirational because it encompasses how I want my readers to feel when they have finished reading one of my books. It's I write from a Christian worldview, so a lot my characters are um, often have struggles, just like we all do with their faith. Um, but I hope by the end I've inspired my readers in their walk with God, in their walk with other humans in their lives. I write primarily Depression era historical romance, 1930s. However, I branch out every once in a while. I am also a love inspired author, which is contemporary. So that's been really fun. And I have a origin story Western that takes place in the late 1800s, releasing next year as part of a author group. So I'm excited about that one.
Yeah. It's so
Well,
great to be able to kind of spread out across the eras.
exactly, exactly. Gotta, have some fun.
Yes, definitely. What can you tell us about how this book came to you? What inspired this story?
So this particular story, my I'll start with my background. My educational background is in intercultural communication. I've traveled to multiple continents, multiple countries. I taught intercultural communication as an adjunct professor at a college. And as I was toying with my story idea, I was very curious to tease out the concept. It's a phenomenon, really, that we often share more intimate details with people we don't know because there's less judgment there. Not everybody, not all the time, but if you've ever, if you're on an airplane, how often do you end up sharing some deep emotional story with this perfect stranger? And
Yes.
then you go your separate ways. Or online. Online is another, you know, version of that. So
Exactly.
with that, that was the inspiration behind my story. On the other side of it, I experienced a traumatic event that left me with some post-traumatic symptoms. And I decided it ended up informing my main character because as I was going through counseling and working through some of those things, and it wasn't what people typically go through. You think of soldiers or you think of being, an assault or an attack. Like it was none of those things, but it still left me with some of those symptoms. And as I explored those emotions in myself, I found my character exploring some of those things in her life as well. And it was a strangely healing book. You're right. So I hope that will also help, again, inspire my readers and show them the hope and healing that can come.
I love that so much. So often the words we write come from those hurt places or those dark
Mhm.
places, and then they end up shedding light onto others. And
Mhm.
so I love when a fiction, when a novel
Yes,
touches us in those deep places. So I'm excited to
that's my
read this,
hope.
but I've not read your book yet. So it is on my list, and I'm excited to see. Um, how you've been able to flesh this out in your character. That's really great. Um, so I would like to know a little bit more about the next book you said you're working on.
Yes.
You said you have an 1800 story coming out.
Yes, that one is part of a multi-author collection. Um, it'll release the collection will release slowly over the next year. The first one is actually releasing next month. They're not connected at all, but they all take place in the West, and just sweet stories of historical romance. My particular one is actually a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I've never done a retelling before, or not, yeah, Beauty and the Beast. And so I'm really excited about it. It's called Heart of Beauty. And what was even more fun about it was the second book in, so the book that we're talking about today is Confessions to a Stranger. The second book in this series is called Refuge for the Archaeologist. And the main character, Silas, in that book, he's a side character in this one. Um,
Okay.
he originally worked at a ranch out west, and that's what gave me the idea for the origin story. So the origin story is the origin of the ranch and the original owners of the ranch. So
How
kind of ties
fun.
together a little bit.
Yeah, I love that so much. That's great. All right. Are you ready to get into the lightning round of questions?
Sure.
I'm just letting you know, lightning rounds never go fast around here because we're authors and we have a lot of words.
We do.
We do. So let's get started. All right. What is your favorite genre to read?
My favorite genre to read, I actually brought samples, is historical romance. I especially love if it has suspense in it or mystery, which is probably why I write that as well. Um, but I also can't get enough of romantic suspense and just the like I write for love inspired because I absolutely love love inspired reading love inspired books.
Perfect. Who's your favorite author?
So speaking of historical romance, you guys need to read this book. It is incredible. Um, Rosanna White is my favorite, is one of my favorite authors. It's hard to play favorites, but I am part of her one of her reader groups, and so I've gotten to know her. She's also my cover designer. She's the one who
Ooh,
designed the cover for this.
what
Um,
multi-talented.
she's incredible and an amazing woman. So yeah, so my little plug for her.
Perfect. Absolutely.
It's also my current
Um,
read, so
oh, good,
it
good.
releases
So
tomorrow.
we've
And
got a good
yeah,
recommendation and we can share her name again one more time.
Rosanna White.
Rosanna White. All right. So we will all look for her book. What's your favorite way to spend a quiet evening?
My favorite way is reading. I'm a very avid reader. I also love like playing with graphics. I when the words don't flow very easily, I make pretty pictures and
I understand.
make bugs and stuff. This isn't one of mine, but
It's nice to be creative in other ways. Are you
exactly.
a plotter or pantser?
I I struggle with this particular answer because I'm a pantser, but I'm a math nerd. So I actually create a scaffolding in an Excel sheet, and then I drape the intuitive writing over the top of that. So I'm a weird version of both.
I understand. I think most of us are a little bit of both in some way, no matter how we go about it. Some lean
Yes.
more to one than the other, but it's hard to
Yes.
write without having a little bit of both.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you could spend a day as a character in any book, who would it be?
Hmm. I don't think I could manage, like, for all the historical romance I read, I don't think I could manage living in one of those. I think I would be better off in one of the love inspired stories where, small town, it'd be really cool to do like there's always small business bookstore owner or,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, I also love historical romance and I write historical romance, and I think the same thing. I could not make it in that world. Maybe for one day it would be
Yeah,
fun, but
right.
no
But
more.
I'm glad I live now. I like my creature comfort.
Yes, yes. What was your favorite toy as a child?
I it's I'm trying to think how far back to go. I absolutely loved building, again, it's the math side of the engineering side of my brain. I loved building with train tracks, like the wooden train tracks. Legos were some of my favorite toys. I also wasn't that far from a notebook and pen, even from a child. So
Same. Um, what is one goal that you have not reached yet?
great question. I'm gonna say, hmm, I would love to make it to every continent except Africa, or not Africa, Antarctica. Someday. I've been to Africa, so I've done that one. Um, but I also would like to make it to all 50 states. So, and I'm over halfway there. I'm two-thirds of the way there for that one. So that one's much more likely.
We have a lot in common.
It's
Do you prefer an e-reader or a physical book?
definitely paper. I'm I when I read advanced copies, I have a Kindle Paperwhite, so at least it mimics, but I spend so much time on screen as it is as a writer that I can't relax and read on a screen.
I understand. Now, you mentioned the question was, do you like to do anything else crafty or creative? And you
Mhm.
mentioned, creating graphics and mugs and
Yep.
things like that. Do you have any other
And crocheting, I made this one here.
piece?
It's been a while. I have little people running around, so I haven't had as much time to crochet, but my grandma taught me. So
I
I've been
understand.
crocheting since I was a kid, and someday I will be able to get back to it and enjoy a quiet evening, like you mentioned, with the
They
crochet
do
needle again.
eventually. They do come back eventually.
Yes.
Do you prefer cooking at home or eating out?
Definitely cooking at home. Even better, my husband makes an amazing steak.
Mm.
So, yes, yeah. So I'll clarify even for him to make a steak and potato dinner and eat at home just is delightful.
Let me know what time to be over.
It's good. It's worth it.
What was your first concert?
First concert. Good question. Um, Probably the Chicago Symphony Orchestra.
Okay.
Um, would be likely because we live near an outdoor venue that they play at, and so you could go as a picnic and you bring your
Oh,
food. If you live in the Chicagoland area, check out Ravinia. It is amazing. Um,
fun.
and my sister was a violinist, so it also could be her orchestra performances as well.
There you go. What would be your dream destination to just sit and write?
Cabin in the North Woods on a snowy day. Get a wood fire going,
Sounds
snow
good.
falling outside,
Yes.
nice and quiet.
And your husband making steak and potatoes.
Yes, and so it smells amazing.
Perfect. All right. Last question. What is a book that you're excited to read soon?
I brought another, you gotta do visuals. It's the teacher in me. I just got this in the mail. So I'm again historical romance, and Karen
Yeah.
Whittemire is one of my other favorite authors. So yes. if the boot fits. And it's a Cinderella retelling. So
Cute.
I
I
loved
love
the first one. So
it.
I'm, yes.
All right, more good books for us to look forward to. All right, so if you could hold up your book again, I created
Which side
some
to put it on?
jewelry. There you go. I love just the pop of her coat, the color in her coat. It's
Me
so,
too.
I just loved it. So I did my best to match. And so here are the earrings that go with it.
So pretty.
And it's hard to see because of the lighting in the room, but some of this is made with translucent clay. So it kind of has a
Oh,
stained glass effect when it's held up in the right light.
cool.
And here is the pendant that goes with it.
Oh, beautiful.
All
Love
right. So
that.
for our viewers to and readers to win
Yes.
both a copy of the book and the set of jewelry, all they have to do is follow you and I both on either Facebook or Instagram, or both if they wish, the more the better. And then,
Absolutely.
yes, then we'll see our giveaway post, and they just have to, after they followed us both, write done, comment done, and that's all they have to do. I know
Wonderful.
we have newsletters they can sign up for more goodies. And we will, this giveaway starts Monday and will end Wednesday night. And we will make a video Wednesday night saying who the winner is. We've had scammers in the past try to message people and say you're the winner and send me money. So we're being very clear that all winners will be announced in the video. Danielle,
Yes,
tell us where we can get more information about you.
absolutely. Um, DanielleGrandinetti.com, and it's phonetic. So if you can spell, just sound out Grandinetti and you'll get it right.
Perfect. We will make sure to link that as well.
Wonderful.
Danielle, it
Wonderful.
was
And
so great to talk with you.
yeah, absolutely. This has been very fun. I'm glad I've been able to be here today.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to reading Confessions to a Stranger and all the new books that you brought us today too.
Thank you. Good
Thanks
read
so
time to
much.
be reading.
Yes. Bye-bye.